Right, we're going to have a little bit of an up-close look at the Motorola DEXT in action now. Now, I'm going to go through a few things that I've noticed about this handset. Here we are on the Moto Blur interface on the main screen here, but I just wanted to show you the keyboard now that you can see it a bit more up close. Here's the slide out QWERTY itself. Over here on the left we've got this navigation control, so I can move up and down, left and right. It's probably easier to see that with a pop-out keyboard here. If I press this like that, you can see me moving across and down, and I can press select and see my happenings, as Motorola call it. So this is everything that's happening on Twitter and on Facebook all in one, and I can sort of slide down and see more. Whoops, if I press the right button, here we go. I can slide through days very quickly. But the keyboard itself here, you can see the space bar is a little different than the normal keys. I mean, the Alt key here, the magnifying glass, the space bar, the symbol, and the back key are all indented like that, basically. I forget whether you call it concave or the other word, but it's basically indented, which makes it a little bit difficult to press at times. So when I'm typing on here, so let's say for example if I unlock the screen, I go back, I'm going to post a new tweet here, and I say there we go. Now I'm looking for a spacebar down there, but there isn't one, and the shift is actually up here on its own very small key. So if I go hello, you can see me typing there. Now the space, all the keys on here, the QWERTY keys, are sort of domed, so they're very easy to press, to locate, but the space button on the bottom is kind of indented, so you have to end up pressing it with your fingernail to actually get the space. It's not very easy to press unless you hit the edges of the keys when you're normally typing, and that kind of defeats the object really when you're pressing the edge of the keys. So that's my little foible with the keyboard itself. I would like to have seen these bottom row of keys perhaps spaced differently, because I don't really use the Alt button all that often. I would perhaps like the space button to be a bit larger and maybe domed as well in the same way as the other keys, just so that it's easier to locate and easier to press. Also, while you're on the close-up camera, you can see, hopefully here, just about you can see the front-mounted camera. I've also noticed when I'm on a call and I've called somebody, one little gripe I always have with handsets which don't have dedicated call, answer and drop keys, this one doesn't, is the fact that when you finish a call you have nothing really to press. You can't just press that or press this to drop the call. But I believe you can either press home there, but when you take it away from your ear, it does detect that it's moved away from your ear, and it shows the screen, and the call drop key appears. Other little foibles I've found with this as well. When I first set this device up, it asked me for my Twitter account, and it said, what service do you want to use for uploading pictures, and I gave it that. And I was quite surprised. If I go into camera now, and by the way, the camera application is rather nice. I can take a photo here like this, you can hear it focusing, and snap, I've taken a photo. Brilliant. Right, now I want to share that photo. Now if I click on the photo down here on the bottom right, you can see me looking at the photo. I haven't got the multi-touch, so I have to kind of zoom in with this button here. Now I've got share, so if I press share, I can share it via email, via Google Mail, via MotoBLUR photo sharing, via MySpace, whoopie-doo, who uses that anymore, Picasa and text messaging. But I don't have an ability to share it via Twitter, or Flickr, in fact, which is a bit weird. I have tried getting around this, but I haven't found a way to do it. I also wanted to show you while the screen was lit up. You see this Motorola logo here? That lights up a little bit like the Apple Macs, to show you that you're actually using the screen and that it's a Motorola product. So that's quite nice to show up. But it kind of fragments the experience here. I can't share that image directly with Twitter. And also I've found that here on the Moto Blur home screen, which as I showed you on the previous video is very fast, I must admit, but we've got this happenings widget here. If I click on that, I can see what's happening. But if I want to manually update this, if I press the key down here, which is kind of the menu key, I can go to setup, and I can say show items for 1 day, but I can't sort of get the latest. So this is from 2 hours ago, this Connor has posted a tweet. But if I go into the happenings application down here, I can't get a more recent update. So I've got set status. You might be able to see here, set status, display service, manage accounts. I can go to manage accounts, and here's all my accounts. You see I've got Flickr there. Why couldn't I upload that picture? Not Flickr, I've got Facebook. Why couldn't I upload that to Facebook? I couldn't upload it to Twitter, even though I have got a Twitter account, which I will just show you. And it also did ask me when I first set it up for the photo service to use for Twitter. Add account, and I've got now Facebook, which is added, Twitter, Google. I've got email, photo, Bebo, but there is no Flickr, whereas there is with the HTC handsets. This has been updated to the most recent version of the Motorola DEXT OS, or the interface that you're using here, and it still doesn't have that. And there's no way. What bugs me the most, I know I'm kind of impatient really, but there's no way if I go into happenings of me manually updating this, and I find that really irritating. You know, the last update here was at 12:22. It is now 13:51, as you can see from this information bar at the top. But I can't update it. I can't. There's no way of me actually refreshing this now from this screen, which is a little bit irritating. Here, this information bar is really cool. This is part of Android. It tells you how many emails you've got, how many voicemails you've got. It tells you anything else you might need to know without clustering up the screen. The interface here is very nice indeed. It's very swish, very fluid. I did find at times it does seem to be a little bit slower. Things like this, the pop-up, that sometimes struggles, which is weird compared to the HTC Hero that we've already given sort of the crown at the moment. These backdrops you can change, by the way. See, I can change a wallpaper from my picture gallery or wallpaper gallery. Let's just choose another wallpaper. I'll just show you that in action. There you are. Let's have that because it's a nice backdrop. Let's set that. And then we can change the wallpaper fairly easily. We can press and hold on here. We can add widgets in. As I said before, you know, I would like to see a few more clocks rather than just the one. I can drag and drop. I can click. I can choose a widget, and I can maybe choose news. And I can have a nice RSS feed on here if you want. I can have my status updates, which I've already seen, and I can also have the weather. So if we have a look at the weather applet in action here, or widget as you call it, let's get that going. Add a city, do a search. Now the keyboard, I do find the keyboard is a great addition to any device. I'm a big fan of actual physical keyboards, but after sort of being forced into using an on-screen keyboard for quite some time with the Hero, I now find that perhaps the physical keyboard is only really for those that do a hell of a lot of messaging or email on the go and stuff like that. Large emails. So there we go. We've got the weather for London in there. We can jig it around. We've got on the handset itself, we've got Google Talk. Sorry about all the reflection, by the way. We've got access into my contacts. We've got email. We've got Google Mail, so we can have the Google Mail. I'm kind of missing off here the navigation control. I have to keep doing this and sometimes accidentally hit into the application instead of scrolling it down. We've got orange maps on here, RSS reader, which I've already shown you, the picture gallery, which is great. Quick Office, we've got a browser on the top, we've got YouTube, a voice dialer. Let's just go into the browser just right now, and let's go into Google and do a search. And again, I can use this on-screen keyboard there, as you just saw flash up, or we can use the QWERTY keyboard. So I'm just going to say, let's put in cool smartphone and see what we can get on there. Let's just see how long it takes to render a site. I could have just pressed enter at that point, by the way, and I'm on a fantastic GPRS signal yet again. As you can see, lovely, slow, painful internet connection. I don't have, unfortunately, the funky multi-touch interface that I did with the HTC Hero. We don't have that on the pictures and galleries, as you've just seen. That's kind of lacking. I mean, the Motorola device itself, the camera application I love. I think it's really, really fast and funky. While this is browsing, I'll just show you that again. The build quality is good. The MotoBLUR interface itself is good, although it could be improved. But it does seem to lack the functionality and the style of the HTC Hero that we really do like. Now, as you can see, if I flick this round, everything, see how the little gallery preview rotates around. And the only thing on this is it will let you turn the camera completely upside down, and you can accidentally lose your camera trigger control here. So if I flip it completely round, the camera trigger control goes to the bottom, which is kind of confusing when you're pressing this and you end up pressing volume up. But if all else fails, you can tap the screen on the front and it will autofocus and take a camera. The camera, I must say, on the Motorola is brilliant. In low light, and I'll show you some photos we took in low light last night. If I go into my gallery here, and I can sweep through the gallery images like this, I can just press that. Let's find some pictures I took in the dark. Here's one. See, this is in the dark, and you can see, if we can get this whole screen, we've also got this funky gallery system as well, and I can just pick and choose a particular image by pressing on it, hopefully, and it will zoom in like that. Let's just have a look. There we go. So there's a picture I took in the dark, and that's come out really well. I'll put that on the site at some point as well. Let's go back to the browser, which is here. You can add shortcuts to anything you want really on the MotoBLUR interface. But as you can see, a GPRS, that's a bit painful. But the browser works very well indeed. You've got the Android Market stall here, which let's just go back to the home screen. We'll find it. There it is in Market, and you can search for applications. So I like online radio, as I think I've shown you before, and we did show you that on input method, Android keyboard, yes. We did show you that on the Tattoo, there wasn't as many applications as there was on the HTC Hero, and we believe that's because of the difference in screen size, etc, etc. It's the first time I've shown you the Android Market, so I'm loading the terms and conditions, which again is over a rather painful GPRS connection, so I can't accept this until it's finished. So I'll just show you around the handset again, now that we've got a nice close-up camera. Here is the micro USB connector. Here's the volume up and down, and there's that little switch I tried to show you earlier. You flick that up, or down rather, and it will instantly set the phone to vibrate mode so that it won't disturb you, and you get this lovely orange switch to show you that it's in silent mode. There's the 3.5mm audio cable, and here on the back is a 5-megapixel camera. There's the Blur logo, Motorola Blur logo. Here on the right hand side we've got the camera button and the lock button, which also doubles as your power on and off. Nothing on the bottom, and those controls there that I'm using. The home button to get back to the home. I can sort of press and hold that and I get my recently used apps, so I can hop between what I'm using. This here, down here, is sort of the menu button, so I can press that and get into any menu, and this is the back button obviously. Now the Android Terms of Service is taking far too long to load, so we'll leave it right there, but that is a look at the Motorola DEXT, a bit close up, and a little bit about the interface for you. So